Hi, everyone. Happy Friday. My name is Tanya Parker, and I am the program director and director of outreach as well for NAMI Central Texas. This is Kate Hicks. She's our executive director. And today for Mind Matters, we're just going to talk about what's new at NAMI Central Texas. So are you ready to get started?
I am.
Okay. So we just celebrated Kate's 1 year anniversary in January of being our executive director. And so I thought it would be really interesting to kind of hear her story about how she came to NAMI.
Thank you, Tanya. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. My name is Kate Hicks, and I'm the executive director here at NAMI Central Texas. And as Tanya said, I've been here a little over a year. And what brought me here is I was extremely excited when I saw the job posting because I thought to myself, here's a place where I can be my authentic self and I can connect to other people and connect to the community of people who will understand me. I've been living with major depressive disorder since my teens, and it's been a real challenge. And the pandemic was a pretty huge wipeout for me. And I think for most people who live with a mental health condition, it was extremely challenging because we were disconnected. And when you already have a tendency to go inside yourself and to withdraw and to isolate, the pandemic made that much worse. I'm the mom of 3 young kids. And at the time the pandemic started, I was a stay-at-home mom. I had a really young one when the pandemic kicked off. And wow, was it hard. I was living with postpartum depression as well, and I just struggled. And so when I found the job posting for the executive director of NAMI Central Texas, I thought, this is my calling. I'm meant to come back into the world of work, and I am meant to go back into nonprofit management. I had about 10 years of experience managing nonprofits, and before that, I was a lawyer, by training. And I thought this is going to be an amazing time to connect with other people who have been through exactly what I've been through the past couple of years of the pandemic, and who have been through what I've been through my whole life, which is living with a mental health condition and people who have loved ones with mental health conditions. And I thought to myself, what a better place than a nationally recognized and a national organization with over 600 affiliates across the country. That's incredible. And I thought the NAMI signature programs were so special because they really are developed for and by people who know what they're talking about. And so that's what really drew me to NAMI. And I've been so excited to be here ever since.
Well, we are very excited that you're here. And with that really unique background, I remember talking with the staff and we were just like, this is going to be phenomenal. What a great new perspective that you brought. And so I think it's really important for you to share your vision for NAMI Central Texas moving forward.
Absolutely. So my vision really is about taking what already exists and is so powerful, which is the NAMI signature programs. And if you're relatively new to NAMI, you might not know the difference between a NAMI signature program and a NAMI Central Texas program. And so I'll quickly just explain that a NAMI signature program means that the program was developed by NAMI National, and it goes through sort of rigorous testing and rigorous standards and rigorous training requirements to become a live program with NAMI National. And so a NAMI signature program means that the person who is running it has been trained by a certified trainer and has a certain number of hours of training experience, so that they're bringing a really solid foundation to when they're leading a class, a presentation, or a support group. And I think that's very important because we don't want people just, coming in and leading programs if they don't have the experience and the NAMI perspective, right? And so we really are proud of Tanya for leading, our programs with great fidelity to the NAMI national model. And so those are our NAMI signature programs. And those include our support groups and our NAMI signature classes, like peer-to-peer and family-to-family, and our NAMI signature presentations, like Ending the Silence and In Our Own Voice. And to me, what the vision I really see for NAMI Central Texas is taking those signature programs and just supplementing them with our own personal stamp and signature, which is the NAMI Central Texas way, which is using community feedback and specific community needs to really build and increase our strategic plan and our strategic model for reaching new counties and new communities, because the 6-county region that we serve, which is Hayes, Williamson, Travis, Bastrop, Burnett, and Caldwell, is a huge, should I get all 6?
Yes.
Okay, woo, I did it on top of my head. Is a huge, diverse region, millions of people, and people who have a huge range of access to resources and access to education about mental health. So our vision is really about mental health literacy for communities that don't yet have any sort of mental health knowledge and any sort of mental health resources available to them easily. Again, we live in a really resource dense area in Travis County, but that is not the case outside of Travis County. And so people really need to learn, what is mental health? What is mental wellness? Where do I start if I have a question? Where do I go if I'm in crisis? Those sorts of questions we want to be able to answer for people so that they can begin the journey to take our classes and hear our presentations and join our support groups. So what I really see for NAMI Central Texas is continuing fidelity to NAMI National and to the NAMI signature programs, but also bringing in lots and lots of new people, increasing the size of the umbrella that we are currently and casting a wider net so that we're capturing more people that really need us for both signature programs and for our NAMI Central Texas programs, which we'll go into in just a little bit.
Well, thank you. I'm so excited. Of course, we've been having these conversations since she started. And 2022 was a very interesting year for us. There was a lot of deep dives into systems and really talking about that vision that you have, and then really, again, collaborating together. And so I think it's important for you to maybe just talk about some of the highlights and the hard work that happened in 2022.
Thank you. Yes, 2022 was a really difficult year to start because we were still in stage 5 of the pandemic, if you remember. I didn't get to meet the staff in person until I think it was March or April when we started meeting in person, because we couldn't even meet as a group inside our offices because of the pandemic restrictions. So it was a really challenging start in terms of getting out in person. But we did anyway. And where we began our in-person programming again in 2022 is really on the outreach side. The outreach component has been extremely important because we need to, again, to cast a wider net and to really show up in all 6 counties. People need to know who we are. And so we do that through outreach at really strategic community events and community programming. So some highlights for 2022, as you'll see on the screen, is we served almost 10,000 people, even though it was another pandemic year, and we were all virtual in our programming. We still had hundreds and hundreds of support group participants. One thing that we continue to do both virtually and in person, because it's required to be in person, is our crisis intervention training for law enforcement officers. And so we still train hundreds of those. We were back in person for our walk, which was very exciting. Yay. And we had 806 NAMI Walks Your Way participants. This year, we're going to be doing our NAMI Walk in person again, and we'll talk about that. But we would love for you to be there on September 30th. But we had a great turnout at the 2022 walk.
It was like a reunion.
It was like a reunion. It was like being all back together for the first time, even though we had done a lot of in-person presentations and events and outreach events. It really was special to be back in person for the walk. So mark your calendars. We did have 167 people participate in our classes. In These Mind Matters, which we were going to keep virtual to make it more accessible, we had 419 participants. And at our outreach events, we talked to over 2,000 people. This year, we're easily going to double that. We've already reached, probably over 1,000 people already this year.
This weekend, we'll reach 1,000.
Yes.
At a walk that we're
going to put a huge event this weekend. We were at the incredible Central Texas African American Family Services conference, which was incredible the first week of February. And I personally talked to a couple hundred people at that event who came to our table and signed up for our presentations and to learn more about our classes and support groups. and over 55 million impressions. That means we're really getting the word out about what NAMI Central Texas is. And so 2022 was really about rebuilding after the pandemic, and keeping up with our virtual programming so that people could still be connected, even though it was still, a pandemic year.
Yeah, it was great. I feel like we really got grounded last year, worked on a lot of things, and really, again, sort of what you said earlier is looked at the evaluations and the people we talked to and decided what we were going to roll out for 2023, which is the next part of our conversation. So let's talk about what's new, what's happening in 2023.
Absolutely. So we have lots of great new programs, staff, board members, and presentations to share with you today in this presentation. The first thing I want to talk about is that hashtag you see on your screen, strength and sharing. So we got together as a staff.
We did. In person.
In person. We get to meet in person once a week. And we talked about what should be our motto for 2023. And we came up with strength and sharing because that's really what NAMI is about at its heart. It started, in NAMI Central Texas almost 40 years ago with a group of parents who were really concerned about their kids, and a group of people that really wanted to bring the NAMI model to Central Texas and to Austin. And really what they found was strength in sharing their experiences of being parents of kids with severe mental health conditions. And then it grew. And now we have such a strong peer program as well as our strong family programs. But really where we find our strength is in sharing. I remember at our book signing event with Dr. Ken Duckworth, because NAMI has its first ever book out. If you haven't checked it out, You Are Not Alone. You should absolutely Google that, buy it at your local bookstore. It's an incredible book, and all of the proceeds come back to the affiliates.
And we have highlighted Central Texas volunteers.
Yes.
And some old staff that are actually highlighted.
Absolutely.
In that book.
So we have a real strong connection to the book. And he came and did a book signing at Book People and did a presentation. And you could feel when people were asking questions and the energy in the room that just being there and hearing about stories and sharing those stories and sharing that experience created just a collective energy that's incredibly special. And that's why we're trying to get more in person every month this year. We'll offer more and more in-person programming because the strength and sharing is wonderful on the screen like we are today, and allows for a lot of people to access this that wouldn't be able to otherwise. But it's also so important to do that in person. So that's where strength and sharing comes from. And that's the first thing that's new this year is that we have a hashtag and a motto. Which
yes, we do. And we love it. And it's on our shirts too.
Yes, now. We have shirts that you'll be able to purchase. Or if you come and volunteer with us at outreach events that we will give to you that say strength and sharing. So it's very exciting. And I want to highlight our new staff. So Anna Bunker is our new peer program manager. She comes to us from another NAMI affiliate, which is very, very cool. She was at NAMI Fox Valley in Wisconsin, which is one of the first NAMI affiliates.
Yes, one of the original.
One of the original OG NAMI affiliates. And she has great experience working with youth, which, we don't work with children younger than 18 here at NAMI Central Texas, but we do focus through NAMI on campus at UT and through our programming when we do outreach to colleges and universities. We really want to reach people who are 18 and older who might be struggling, because sometimes it's very hard for people who are first dealing with a diagnosis in their teens and early 20s to find help. So Anna has a wonderful way with young people, and we're so excited she's here, and she's doing all of our peer programming and also doing a lot of great outreach for us. Susan Dominguez is our family and community program manager, and she joined us in September. Anna joined us in October, and Susan is wonderful. She's bilingual, which is extremely important to us as we begin to offer more programs and outreach and resources in Spanish for primary Spanish-speaking populations across our 6-county region. And so Susan is really helping us with that. She has a really unique perspective because she came to us from AISD as a parent support specialist. So she was used to working with people who were dealing with kids in crisis and kids in need. And she also is really great at helping build community. And so we're so excited to have her there. She's wonderful with families and has her own lived experience as a family member. So she brings that to the table, and she's been absolutely wonderful. And then we have Kim Moore, our communications and events manager, who joined us in January.
She's behind the scenes right now.
She's behind the scenes right now, running this webinar as we speak. She is incredible. She brings a wealth of nonprofit and for-profit experience in both programs and communications and events. She did incredible work with the Greater Austin Asian Chamber of Commerce. I hope I got all of the words there. Yes, I'm getting the thumbs up.
Yes.
I got all of the words there. Really building out their gala and building out their membership. And she has her finger on the pulse of everything we need and has already done so much to improve our infrastructure and our communications, our newsletter. It's been wonderful. So
everything's looking really good.
Yes,
thank you, Kim.
Thank you, Kim. So all three of these new staff members who joined us in the fall and winter are really rounding out the NAMI Central Texas team, and we're stronger than ever. And we have hashtag strength and sharing and hashtag strength and staff. So we're very excited about the new staff. I also just want to take a moment to thank our new board members that have joined us. We have 4 new board members, one of whom, Rajiv Chain, is our new treasurer, and they are, really helping us with marketing and with really going to the next level with NAMI Central Texas in terms of everything we want to achieve as a nonprofit organization. And our new president, who's been on the board for several years, Brianna McKinney, is incredible at creating a sort of a new vision for the board. And a lot of great things are happening behind the scenes with the staff and board this year. So just wanted to give a shout out to everyone who serves on our staff and on our board because they are wonderful. In terms of new programs, the first one I want to highlight is Mental Health 101. This came out of a lot of community requests for presentations that highlight the basics. Again, not everyone is ready to jump right in to having a diagnosis and talking about diagnoses and talking about mental health conditions in specifics. Some people need a broader picture of what is mental health. What are the definitions? What does treatment look like? What can I do for a loved one who's in crisis? These are questions that we get all the time. And while we aren't a crisis organization, we're here to help people once they have found a treatment plan and are on the road to recovery. We can absolutely help provide those resources, connect people. That's a huge part of what NAMI does. NAMI National has a really robust hotline and warm line system built out. So absolutely want to help people when they're in that crisis moment. But then, what do we do before people hit crisis? How do we help people before they get to that point,
absolutely,
right? To help avoid a crisis. And so Mental Health 101, the idea is to give people the resources to identify in yourself or in a loved one if there's a mental health condition there. And so we give people lots of tools in this presentation. It's available on demand, and we are also going to be offering it on a planned, scheduled basis. Can you tell us a little bit more about that, Tanya?
Yes. So we're going to be offering Mental Health 101 virtually every quarter. And that way anyone can join. It's a great entry-level program to come and find out about what we do, and then also just start that conversation. Again, NAMI's model is wonderful because it provides you so much information, evidence-based information, takeaway information, but there's always somebody leading that presentation that has lived experience. And so you always kind of get that story of recovery. So I think our first one is March 7th. It's March 7th. And you can sign up on the website, and we'll talk about that more later.
Yes, so we're very excited about Mental Health 101. Again, this is the NAMI Central Texas program that we created ourselves, and Tanya and the team have been wonderful at helping create curriculum that's evidence-based and really dives into important topics for people. Because again, a huge part of our vision for NAMI Central Texas is that we are changing the conversation about mental health, right? That we are reducing stigma, encouraging communication, encouraging that first step, which is talking to someone. And so Mental Health 101 is a conversation starter.
Yes, it is.
So we're very excited about that new program. Additionally, we have our Family and Friends Workshop. This is something that we can tailor to the needs of specific communities. And one presentation that we are giving is for people with justice involvement. So family and friends of people who have been involved in the justice system. Again, there are estimates that as many as 75 to 85% of people who are involved in the criminal justice system have some kind of behavioral health underlying condition. And the justice system is not the best place for those people, but unfortunately, it's the only way that some of them get help. So we want to provide their loved ones, family and friends, with an overview of mental health conditions and how it relates to their justice involvement, specifically tailored for that population. So we're leading this program with people who have experience supporting someone living with a mental health condition and who have justice involvement themselves. So it's going to be a really exciting event for people that need that help because people go in and out of the system. It's a really challenging place for a person with a mental health condition, and often makes it much worse. So we want to give family and friends the tools to help their loved one who might be dealing with those issues. All of this is on our website. NAMICentralTexas.org, which is hopefully how you found us. And you can get all of the dates on our website, including the dates for this particular workshop. And we can also tailor this workshop to other populations, like the LGBTQIA+ communities, the BIPOC community. Really, this Family and Friends workshop is designed to be tailored to the specific needs of the populations that need us. So we can really make this work, and you can request this on our website along with all our other presentations. So Workplace Wellness had its soft launch a couple of years ago, where we didn't officially advertise as Workplace Wellness, but we were giving presentations to workplaces for a fee to help offset our other costs. And it's a really wonderful program because a lot of businesses, nonprofits, and government agencies have a budget in human resources or in training for exactly this kind of thing, which is a presentation about the mental health basics for people who might be questioning whether they have a diagnosis, have a loved one with a diagnosis, a colleague with a diagnosis, a lot of places where people are dealing with issues of suicide. They really need someone to come and talk to them about mental health. And we can do that through our workplace wellness programs. And we have a lot of wonderful return customers who've been coming back to us year after year for these presentations. Both Tanya and I give these presentations, and they are fee-based. Nonprofits and government agencies get a 50% discount. And the topics that we cover are managing stress and anxiety in difficult times, things like the pandemic and, in our difficult economic climate, things like that. Cultivating empathy in the workplace, very important. We have Speak Up, dispelling the mental health myths that keep us quiet. Very important because, again, people live under a lot of mental health myths that really just keep up the stigma. Absolutely. And we want to help reduce that through this presentation. And we have a brand new presentation that we're very excited about that was created by our interns, actually.
Yes.
And it is called Inside Relationships and Boundaries. And we've kicked this one off, and it's a really special and wonderful presentation that goes into how to build healthy boundaries that people really need to learn. So we are so excited about workplace wellness. Again, this is on our website. If you know of a company or you work for a company that could benefit from a presentation, please go check out those topics because we would love to come and give a presentation. We can do them virtually or in person, obviously in person within the Central Texas region, and virtually we can go, we've gone international.
Yes, we have.
So
several times.
Yeah, several times. So we can make this workplace wellness happen for you and your colleagues. If you are interested or know someone who might be, please go to For Workplaces on our website and you will see the presentations and the presentation request buttons for all of these presentations.
And it's been great for us to get into the corporate world because I feel like it's wonderful to see what these companies are offering. They have great programs and support and therapy and hotlines that we didn't even know existed. And so now I think coordinating and walking into that corporate world is helping us support again our community by having those conversations, but also connecting them to the resources that their workplaces are providing for them. So we're excited to relaunch it. And Kate and I love going and getting just really getting in there and meeting people, which then sometimes they come and turn into our volunteers.
Absolutely. And it's really interesting because a lot of times people don't know about their employee resources that they have at their companies, especially in government agencies and in big for-profit organizations. They offer all kinds of benefits, from a free subscription to the Calm app to 5 free sessions of therapy. There's all sorts of benefits that people have no idea about. So when we begin that conversation, we really open the door for them. And so we really would love to have relationships with companies and nonprofits and government agencies where we come in multiple times and really build out a curriculum. We can tailor and customize presentations as well. And so, we really want it to be more than just a 1-hour relationship. We really want to make this a full-fledged relationship.
Continuing those conversations.
Exactly. Okay, let's jump into new initiatives.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Let's go.
Fabulous. So tell us about Sharing Hope, which is a NAMI national program, right?
Yes, it is.
Okay, great.
So NAMI National really started working, especially when COVID happened. And there was, there's a lot of concern about reaching, especially certain populations. And so they knew that starting the conversation in the BIPOC community was very difficult, sort of like what Kate was talking about before. Not everybody's ready to jump in and talk about a diagnosis. And so NAMI National came up with this great, just a conversational sort of beginning. So Sharing Hope is a 1-hour presentation, and it was, again, developed by National NAMI, and it is just a conversation. It starts out with a really short, like 1 to 3 minute video. And then it's just a conversation about people's thoughts around the video and the content. It's for certain populations. So one of them is for community and faith-based. One of them is for youth, specifically for young people. And then the other one is for families. It was a great initiative, and we were super excited about it because it was related to the BIPOC group that we were trying to reach. And I was really excited because we were able to, again, meet some wonderful people who came to be our volunteers, and created an ambassador volunteer group. And we have probably about 15 or 16 people trained to provide those conversations. Will come into your community, have that conversation, connect everybody with NAMI and what we do, and then also have resources within that community, and specifically for the Black and African American population. So we've really created a great resource database for that as well. So it's new, we're excited about it. The feedback has been wonderful. And again, it's on the website. And I really encourage, if you just want to maybe start that conversation, again, strength in sharing, a way to create a safe space to just begin, because we're not going to change anything if we're not talking about it.
Exactly. And speaking of faith communities, NAMI Central Texas signature program that we've created and actually trademarked, and we actually licensed to other groups, is called Bridges to Hope. And it's been around for several years. Again, took a bit of a hiatus during COVID and it had to go completely virtual when we were able to offer it. But an area that's really untapped and incredibly important in the mental health conversation is our religious communities and our faith leaders. People look to faith leaders and to their religious communities for so much, and this includes when they are having mental health challenges. And there's obviously a lot of people who believe that you can pray and pray away mental health issues. And what we need is people on the pulpits and on the bimas and in across every religion and every faith, saying, prayer is wonderful. It's very important to so many people's lives. It's foundational to so many people, and having that spiritual life is so crucial. But it is in addition to seeking out resources that exist outside of the church and that can be connected to your faith and your spiritual life. And so we really wanted to tap into those people as figurative bridges to hope and recovery. And so tell us more about what it looks like.
Yes, so it did start out as a one-day workshop, and then we ended up going virtual because of COVID. So right now it's a 3-hour workshop. It's shorter. We can do it virtually or in person. We've done both last year. We come and we just really set up and we open it up to the community. We have such wonderful responses. The last one we did virtually, we had a mosque. We had all different types of spiritualities there. It was wonderful because there's a lot of discussion. There's a lot of learning. And again, more conversation. And just talking about what the message is, talking about and learning those myths that we talked about in some of our presentations, crisis intervention. So it's really providing a wonderful toolkit, resources, language that the church can then create and then share with the community. And it's also a supportive way for the leaders of the faith communities who truly have reached out to us and said that they were just overwhelmed by the amount of people who came to them and needed support. So again, shifting from 2022 to 2023, you can request that and we can come and provide it in person, but we're also going to be holding these virtually and in person quarterly, just to get the word out and to get people more involved. So please come. If you have a couple different churches that you're working with, absolutely. Let's do a Bridges to Hope. Let's have that conversation. You'll walk away with so much, and then continue again to work on an action plan, work on that toolkit. One of the churches that we worked with a couple years ago really has developed to where now they actually have deacons and deaconesses who are in charge of the mental health conversation at their church. They have NAMI in the church. They have NAMI on their website. They're trained in crisis intervention. So they've really taken it to the next level. And again, you can start anywhere.
Absolutely. So if you have faith leaders in your life that you feel would benefit from this program, or you yourself are a leader in your place of worship, please check out our Bridges to Hope on our website. And, hopefully we can just continue to bring more and more people in to have these conversations, because it will just have a ripple effect, right? And so many communities that really need to hear it. And we're really trying to reach, again, within the 6-county region, go out to churches and bring in churches from Taylor and Georgetown and Hayes County. And because again, those are foundational places in the community, and we need to be there. So we're very excited about Bridges to Hope. Another new initiative in 2023 is what we call the CAN grant.
Community Advancement Network.
They are working on language access, not only for primary Spanish speakers, which is the group that we're engaged for, but also Arabic, Vietnamese. It's a very, very important initiative because, again, the Austin area and the greater Austin area only becomes more diverse by the day. So the CAN received a very nice grant from the St. David's Foundation, and we are sub-grantees of this grant to provide a mental health toolkit in Spanish for primary Spanish speakers to really learn the basics of mental health and mental wellness in a very accessible way that's very culturally competent and isn't just translating things through Google Translate, because that doesn't work. We found that you don't reach communities by taking English phrases for things and running them through Google Translate or literally translating them into the other language. You really have to be culturally competent and meet people where they are. So we're very excited to be a part of this and developing this toolkit. Part of it is having a community advisory team, which is people from the community coming together to give advice about what sorts of things should be in the toolkit, how to publicize the toolkit. what formats are good, mobile versus videos versus paper documents, that sort of thing. So it's a really exciting project that we're thrilled to be a part of. And again, it's part of our vision of really increasing access to mental health resources.
Yeah, we'll be excited to announce when that is completed and launched. And again, will be accessible to anybody who wants to grab it and utilize it and share it, which again, sharing that information, strength and sharing. So we are very excited to be a part of that.
Absolutely. And then Tanya, tell us about the Hog Foundation grant that we got in 2022 that we're finishing up now.
Yes. So we were very pleased to get our second Hog Foundation grant. And the name of that is Healthy Minds, because we really, again, wanted to start that conversation in the BIPOC community. And as we talked to our ambassador volunteers, we created an advisory group, and a lot of them actually came from the Central Texas African American Family Support Conference. But we had this great group, and really it was how do we start this conversation? How do we get information out? How do we even show people from the BIPOC community talking about mental health? And so our grant was for us to create these very short videos that can be used on social media, that can be shared in weight rooms, that just can be used in the Sharing Hope programs. And so we're so lucky to have such amazing volunteers. And we are finishing up filming these amazing, again, snippets and videos of just people really talking about either their experience or how they feel about mental health, how it's touched their lives. Which will then be packaged and available on YouTube for anyone to access and share. So we'll be wrapping that up, and you should be seeing that by the summer.
Very exciting stuff. And then the other real initiative we're launching in 2023 is connecting with all 6 counties in person. So what we want to do is touch every county in some meaningful way in 2023, whether that's bringing presentations to schools, going to outreach events, having classes and support groups specific to that county and in those regions. We're really working our hardest to make sure that we are as geographically diverse as we possibly can be, and that we're being, again, culturally competent, because this is an extremely diverse region and the needs are extremely diverse. So again, we're participating in events at the local colleges and universities, in the schools. We're just really trying to make great new partnerships and smart and strategic initiatives into those 6 county regions.
And I just have to say, Kate's been really great, because when we really talked about that in 2022, again, it's how do you talk about mental health? And sometimes getting into those communities, it's not around mental health, it's around public health. So we partner with public health, lots of events around public health. We've been at walks, we've been at church events, we've been at Halloween events at UPS. We had a UPS truck that had NAMI information and was handing out candy. Any way that we can be present and become a trusted resource is how we're utilizing it. And so Kate has been great allowing us to have some really creative events.
Absolutely, because mental health is health, right?
Yes.
So we need to constantly be promoting that everywhere we can, and reaching the parents of young kids that need us, anyone that needs us. We want to be at those events.
So if you know somebody in the outer counties or an organization that you think, come and see us, give us a call. You can tap into
find us on the website.
And we'll see if we have the bandwidth to come and visit you.
Absolutely. So those are our new initiatives for 2023. And again, you can find all of this on our website. But now I want to talk about some big events that we have coming up. So our special events for this year, we are going to have the May Mental Health Month. We are planning a huge May extravaganza for Mental Health Month, because this is really the month of the year when we have people's attention. So that's the year when everyone is ready to talk about mental health awareness, and people from, let's say, workplaces and churches and your local bakery, they're all ready to have conversations around mental health in May. So we want to be there wherever people are that are willing to start this conversation. We feel like we already have an advantage. We're so excited about Speak Up, and tickets and event information will be released soon. And then we're going to have a series of of coffees and other outreach events to just bring people into the conversation who are sort of learning this mental health literacy and just beginning the conversation around mental health. So stay tuned. We're also going to have a big volunteer celebration event. So if you are one of our volunteers, whether you're on the board or you are doing outreach events with us, or you're one of our teachers or speakers, get ready for May 21st. We're going to have a wonderful celebratory event that day for everyone who has volunteered with us. And then NAMI Walks Central Texas is going to be September 30th at the Long Center for the Performing Arts. It's going to be right next to where we held the event last year, the Palmer, but this year it's at the Long Center. And we would love to have more than 1,000 people there. We would love to have a huge event with a band, and again, bringing tiny tales and bringing live music and excitement to really what is Central Texas's largest event to bring mental health awareness to the people of the streets of Austin, right?
And surrounding areas.
But we will be in downtown Austin doing that 5K loop up to the Capitol and back. And going to the Capitol really symbolizes the importance of advocacy and of having this conversation and having it be in the public space. So we really hope that you'll walk with us as a symbol of your commitment to changing the conversation around mental health on September the 30th.
Make it a challenge. Challenge your friends.
Exactly.
Challenge your coworkers.
And the more you can spread the word, the better. So there's a fundraising opportunity and a health and fitness opportunity here for the walk.
So as you see, we have a lot going on for 2023, and we always need help. So maybe you want to talk about how people can get involved.
Absolutely. So volunteering with us, we are in absolute need at all times for more volunteers. To get the word out as far and wide as we want to in the 6-county region, we need more volunteers all over the place. So wherever you live, we need volunteers there. So we need volunteers to help us get trained in NAMI signature programs and give presentations, teach classes, and lead support groups. So if you have lived experience as either a peer or a family member and you want to get trained, reach out to us. We need people to help us at these outreach events. For May Mental Health Month, we're going to be doing, again, a ton of events where we could really use help. So that's a great way to get involved if you want to kick it off in May. And we also have committees. We have our advocacy committee, which meets every other month and really talks about issues specific to mental health in the Central Texas and national regions. Where we can get involved. There's always a call to action because there's so much on the policy level where we really need to be involved. The NAMI Texas helps us lead that because they are our wonderful partners in advocacy. And then we have a new mission advancement committee, which is working all around development and marketing. If those are your areas of expertise, you can reach out to Sharon on our website and she will get you all hooked up there for mission advancement. And then we also are seeking volunteers to help us coordinate NAMI walks. So we're going to have a subcommittee that's going to work specifically around NAMI walks. So if you are an event planner or you love events or you just want to get involved, and this is a great entry point is getting involved with NAMI walks.
And it's a lot of fun.
Absolutely.
Especially when they bring the little pets and you can pet them.
Yes.
They have to come back. If you're watching Tiny Tales, come back.
Yes, absolutely. So those are some ways to get involved. And now we did it.
We did
we got through 2022.
We got through 2022. What a wrap up. And then great conversation about all the new things coming. Mm-hmm. So in the last maybe 4 minutes that we have, we might be able to answer a couple questions. So let's see what questions we have.
If you have a question, you can throw it into either the chat or the Q&A box. But we had some questions that came in ahead of time as well, so we can answer those.
So shall we proceed with the ones we have before? Okay. So how, if somebody was like, I really would like to have a presentation, how does somebody request a presentation?
Great question. So on our website, we have our website organized by the populations that we serve. So if you go to the website and you start clicking down, you'll see for loved ones of people dealing with a mental health condition, for peers, for communities, for workplaces, for faith communities. And so you'll want to click on that section and then you'll see presentation requests. And so You can go through that area. You can also just use the search bar and search what you want, but you're going to request the presentation through our website. We have a presentation request form where we get all the information we need from you so we can make the process as seamless as possible to get back to you about your exact needs and the community that we're going to be speaking to and things like that.
Okay, and we're happy again to come to wherever you're at to provide that in person. So we talked a lot about all the things that are happening. So how would I, as a person in the community, learn about what's happening? Where do I go to find out what NAMI's doing?
Excellent question. So thanks to Kim Moore, our wonderful new communications and events manager, we are going to have volunteer communications, and we're going to have monthly communications with everyone on our mailing list. So if you want to get on our mailing list, you go to our website and there's a newsletter sign up link. And you just click on that and you'll be subscribed to our newsletter, and you'll get our monthly newsletter, which gives all this information, our call for volunteers, everything that's happening, coming up, all of our upcoming classes and support groups, including the ones that are in person, which we didn't touch on before, but I do want to touch on the fact that we are going to have in-person support groups beginning
next Monday,
the 27th
is our first round.
Right. So if you want information about where that support group is and to register, you can go to our website, and then we're going to be offering more in-person support groups in the future, as well as classes and presentations in person. So stay tuned for all of our in-person events as they come back online.
And in the last minute that we have, I wanted to answer the question about where to find resources and crisis information, because I think that's a question and people reach out for that really on a regular basis.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to let you tackle that question.
I will tackle that question. So actually on our website, as soon as you pull it up, there's a great button and it says crisis. So if you're in immediate need, we are not a crisis response organization, but if you hit that button, it will take you to all of the local and national numbers where you can reach out and get immediate help via phone, text, or have somebody come to you. So please check that out. It has all the information that you would need as far as getting somebody to respond to a crisis situation. And then we also have a resource page, and on that page is a list of our resources. But again, that's not all the resources because we serve 6 counties. You can always email us at info@NAMICentralTexas.org, and we will respond to you. We have a huge resource repository. So we're really here to help connect you to the resources that you might be needing, and just kind of let you know if that service that you're wanting is accessible. So please take a look at that page as well. Again, we're here for connection and conversation.
And I would say that the biggest thing you can tell someone who comes to you in crisis is absolutely reach out to us, because we want to be there for the support groups and for the classes, for people who are just beginning their journey or, you know, well on their way to recovery. And we want to be there every step of the way. But if you have an actual crisis, you need to reach out to your local mental health authority. And also you need to reach out to 988. 988 is a wonderful resource that rolled out last July, and it replaced the long 10-digit number for the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline. And it is there for people in any kind of behavioral health, either mental health or substance abuse crisis of any kind. And we really recommend that to everyone, and looking up your local mental health authority. It's Integral Care, who is a wonderful partner here in Travis County,
Blue Bonnet
in Williamson, and also in Bastrop. But it's very important to give those crisis numbers to people that you meet, and we have crisis cards that we hand out. We'll be happy to send you a pack if you'd like. And we answer our voicemail and our emails daily, so multiple times a day. So you can always reach out to us through the email and phone number on our website.
So put 988 in your phone and know that it's in 14 different languages and can help you get to local resources as well.
Thank you so much for joining us today.
Yes.
And we look forward to having you volunteer with us in the future and join us for support groups, classes, presentations, and out at NAMI Walks and in May for Mental Health Month.
Come see us.
Thank you.
Thank you.